Today I'm going to brace myself and have a look at the new mechanics in the game. Now, when they announced that they were launching 1.22.0 Pre.2, Tyron said that they had decided to aim for an update that would enrich Vintage Story with new game mechanics to enhance the mechanics to the max. They've added quenching, tempering, grinding wheels, etc. But where I want to start today is with Windmills. And until I started looking at this, I didn't realise quite how much was changing. So, let's have a look. I am, as always, in Creative. And this is the sort of windmill setup that we are all used to, with the big windmills here, and this is a full-sized windmill looking beautiful. Let me come out here, hopefully without breaking it. Now, this actually has changed, and that the windmills, I was just putting up a basic one, and when I looked at axles, we still have the basic wooden axle, which is easy to make, but now we've got one with a small four-way iron hub, a small four-way meteoric iron hub, and a small four-way steel hub. So immediately I realised that it had changed a lot more than I thought. Now let's have a look at the sails. These are fantastic. Not that sail. Yeah, it's okay, we've got it here, windmill sail. This is the basic windmill sail, which on the face of it doesn't look much difference, but you have to craft it with beams. So you need 4 beams, you need 4 linen, and you need 6 sticks, which is fine. So you've got these windmill sails, and they say they can be placed on the ground. So they can, look at that. Wow, so you can lay your sails out on the ground. I do like that feature, don't you? Wow. I've moved all my spears here, and I have to say, doesn't that look fantastic? So we have that sail, and immediately it struck me that we have to have beams, and I don't know whether all of you have made beams. Oops. Beams, here we go. Oak. But for a beam, you just need some debarked logs and a saw. So we're okay on that one. Not difficult to make, but it actually makes a lot more sense to me to have this rigidity in the sail. Because I do know that, I mean, we have old-fashioned windmills like this one in the area I live in the south of England. And we do have these rigid poles that are stronger on one side to catch the wind. So we've got these sails. But then I had a little bit of a look further. Sail, and we've got a large windmill sail. We're using beams again. This time we're using planks. So we end up with 8 beams, 12 planks, and 8 linen. Now, one of the things you have to be careful of is that it says this sail requires a metal hubbed rotor, which we've just seen. Also note that the beams must be of certain stronger woods, while the boards can be almost any wood. Now, I've looked at the woods, and I was very interested to find out which they regard as the hardwoods and which they regard as the softwoods. I mean, not being a do-it-yourself fanatic or a lumber merchant, I'm not really familiar with the strength of woods. I've always known that oak was hugely strong, of course, but the strong woods are ebony, maple, oak, kapok, walnut, redwood, and purple heart. The soft woods are pine, larch, acacia, birch, and my beloved bald cypress. So we've got these super big sails, and looking at these, those are the ones that work with the metal rotors. But we've got to have beams with these little sails in any event. Now, my research has showed me that the normal sails, I mean, this is only the addition of, 4 bits of wood. It's not that big an addition, but I do think it makes sense. But you can use larch, pine, acacia in these smaller windmill sails. It's when you go back to the large windmill sails, these have to be the hardwoods. So you can't use these with the normal wooden rotors, and you have to have hardwood here in the beams, and you have to have a metal hubbed rotor. So if we go back, let's have a look at rotors. Right, now this is a metal windmill rotor, and this is made of something I haven't seen before. Iron rods we've seen before. Heavy steel brackets I haven't seen before, but you smith these out of a steel or an iron ingots or a plate, and you get it into, you use steel, iron or metallic iron, and they obviously have to match to the axles, I would suggest. It doesn't sort of say there, but the rotor is used in combination with large windmill sails. Also note that the beams in the recipe must be made of certain stronger types of wood. So again, we've got a differentiation in the wood side. Now, what these are up here are not rotors, they're axles. But I would bet my bottom dollar that if we have to use a mechanical windmill rotor, I wonder whether we have to use these axles all the way through. That's not defined at the moment. The other thing, as you know, is that we now have a turbulence effect with the windmills. Now we can't see it, and I haven't been able to confirm this, but I believe that the turbulence effect means that you have to have them at least 15 blocks apart. Now, I'm not sure whether that is 15 blocks from the edge of the sail or 15 blocks from the rotor. So that's quite a long effect. So let's go 1, 2, these are 4, 5, aren't they? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's go out. 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to go for 15 and see whether that works. I am of the view that it might well be, because I would measure turbulence from the edge of the sail. So it might be that we have to go elsewhere. I have to go out another 5 blocks. So you're taking it from the edge of the sail, not from the rotor. I mean, this is all stuff that we have to find out. And I'm thanking God for creative, because I could not try this in any other way. So what I'm going to do is just pillow up here. Right, let's have a look. Try and get it at the same level. Okay, so I'm going to try and build one of these new windmills. Let's go for the rotor. And the big question here is going to be whether it will connect. to a normal axle. I think I just have a feeling I might have to have it. What is this? This is a metal windmill. Let's try this one. Will it connect to that? That's what I don't know yet. This is why we try these things. Let's come up here. I love that the sound of the windmill rotor is still, the windmill is still the same. Right, let's just go back a bit. Okay, now can we connect to that? We can. Okay. Can we still connect to the angled gears? I haven't looked at those. As far as I can see, the angled gears are still the same. Okay. And then can we connect? Let's just put that there. And can we connect to a wooden axle, or does it have to be one of these? I don't know, let's put it there. Can this then connect to a wooden axle? I mean, so much to learn. Okay, and also, let's come down here. Whoa. Now look at this. Whoa. Metal windmill rotor. Wind speed 56%, sales power output 125, exposed to turbulence from nearby windmill. Power output reduced by 50%. Oh my gosh. And that's of course because I was using this windmill as a measure rather than this. Oh my gosh. Wow. That shows you the difference, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. So my reading of, yeah, I've got these overlapping. Okay. Let's come up here and let's take this one down. There we are. Can we get the pieces? Isn't it instinctive? Even I'm in creative, I can get all the pieces I want, but my first instinct is to dive down and retrieve the windmill sails. Okay, now let's have a look at the speed now. Let's have a look. Right, let's try and get focused on it. Here we are, wind speed 56, sail power output 250 kN, mechanical power part. So now I've taken the other windmill down. Yeah. Wow, let me just go and have a look at that thing again. Whoa. I mean, that's huge. How do you accommodate that into a build? I suppose there are huge windmills. But the other thing is with the smaller ones, if we are measuring from the end of the sail, and I think we are, as to how close they can be, then it seems to me that we're going to be having lines of windmills. Wow, we're going to look like an offshore wind farm here. And I do know that if these mechanical parts these days get too hot, they will catch fire. I don't know if that applies to the windmills. I know that we have windmills in the UK, even the big modern ones that catch fire if they go too fast. Wow. It's absolutely amazing, that thing. I mean, it would need iron, but once you get to iron, it seems to me that you can, you know, use quite a lot of this stuff. We have a windmill set up, and it looks as if, oh, that's interesting. Let's go into E again and get an axle. I'm taking this slowly because I'm thinking of things as I go along. So it looks like the wooden axles will take that. It's not objecting to it. Then angled gears. Is what I would normally put on the bottom. And I don't see any other gears. So let's put that there. Now, there are other things that they're looking at with these windmills. And these are spur gears. Now, I've never heard of these. I'm not sure what they do. I probably never used them, but I'm sure they exist. But let's have a look for spur gears. Wood. Okay. So if you have a spur gear, what would it attach to? Would it attach to an angle gear? It would. Right, let's look at spur gears. Wooden. Okay, that's how you make them. So there's nothing untoward there apart from this lump rendered fat. Okay, what do you do with it? I'm going to have to learn to use these, aren't I? We now have three sorts of bellows. We've got a small bellow, crude hide bellow. Sorry, that's the crude hide bellow. We have a small bellows, and that's the large bellows. And there is a difference in the way you make them, but my view is, listen, just right click. Wow. Oh my God, again. Wow. I'm seeing if there's any difference in sound. This looks like some sort of animal, doesn't it? I'm thinking of tortoises. Now you can see where it attaches. Now my question is, does it attach directly to the forge? Let's just see. Let's see with the small. That's, yeah, look, I think that attaches. Okay. That little bit, that obviously attaches, and that seems to be where that one attaches. Ooh, look at the coal. Texture of the coal seems to have changed. Okay. Okay, let's give this a try. Let's light that. That does look different. Let's try stomping on. Does it say how hot this is? No. Oh, look, look, did you see that? Look at the coals. Wow. Ooh. And if we take the big bellows and we have to point this towards them, how does this work? So we've got the coals here. Wow. Fantastic. That's a beautiful mechanic. Those are beautiful things. But the interesting thing to me is if we look at bellows and how to make them, the crude hide bellows, you have to have a large hide. So that means either a bear hide or a large bighorn sheep or something that would give you this large, it's a pelt. It's not a hide, it's a pelt, I beg your pardon. And then these are the bear pelts. Wow. So you need a bear pelt or a large hide pelt with a couple of rope and some sticks. That makes your crude bellows. The small bellows are made with nails and strips, that's just one of each, 6 leather and 6 boards. And the large bellows is 12 nails and strips, 24 leather and 24 boards. Given my ability at killing things, I have a feeling this one might be the easiest for me. This big one with a big hide, if you don't have a saw but you can kill a bear, looks excellent to me. I do love the design of these. I think they're fantastic. I really do. And also I was worried about how the coal would sit in this forge, but it actually sits nicely in the forge, if you can see that. Wow, and it shows you how many hours it's ready to go. I think these designs are wonderful. Absolutely. We'll have an accordion next, please. They're great. They're really great. And according to how hot your fire gets, so to get to the higher forging temperatures and smelting temperatures, it's going to depend on the type of coal. So obviously the fuel quality determines temperatures and duration. We can also now heat up tool heads in the forge if we want to, which is great. And it says standing on lit forges causes damage. I think that's perfectly sensible. And it says that if you put a glowing hot ingot on cold coals, it will ignite the coal. That all seems very sensible. This is very beautiful. I think I press the right click with my middle finger. I think it could get quite tired with this. But I think that's all beautiful. Wow. So we have a lot of options coming in, which is fantastic.